Lie not in wait as a wicked man against the dwelling of the righteous. Do no violence to his home. The righteous falls 7 times and rises again. The wicked stumble in times of calamity. I think this ties in well with what you were saying about a peaceful home, Scott. And maybe that's not immediately apparent, but when you look at the Hebrew words behind some of this, the word for the dwelling of the righteous, dwelling there is the word navah, and it's literally talking about the structure where a person lives. So don't lie in wait against the house of a righteous man. So don't try to take it from him. Don't try to tear it down. Nothing like that. Leave his house alone. The second part, do no violence to his home. I think King James translates that as spoil not his resting place, which is probably a little more literal. The Hebrew word is, I have it written down here somewhere, rebetz, which literally refers to the place a person lies down, which could be his bed or his couch or his favorite recliner. And the idea is don't disturb the man's peace. You know, you've heard the saying that, you know, a man's home is his castle. Well, it's true for everybody who lives in that house. It's everybody's refuge. This is warning you, don't plan to disrupt the peace of a person's home. This is the place where everybody needs to be able to go home and be protected from the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, family brings its own challenges. There are always conflicts in family, but they should not be the same conflicts that we have with the rest of the world. They should be the conflicts between people who love each other. Sometimes that's hard to tell, but that's the way it's supposed to be. And this passage saying, don't disturb that peace of that house, because that's the way that God wants it. God wants the home to be a refuge for the family and a place where you can go and be protected from the world. And if the world is trying to tear that down, like we have so many people today trying to split up children from their parents and undermine their parents' authority. But how this relates to the next part, for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again. One of the reasons that the righteous can rise again is because he has peace in his home. And if you're going to disrupt that peace, you are disrupting the ability of people to recover from other problems. It's part of our spiritual immune system is to have a peaceful home. Whereas the wicked who are disrupting homes, especially their own, when troubled times come, they're not going to have that support system to be able to hold them up and pick them up and carry on.
Well, while you're saying this, it's just it comes to mind to me the war on poverty resulted in incentives. Unfortunately, it impacted the Black community, at least that's what I'm told, much more than the remaining of society, in that the incentives were for a single income family to be rewarded versus a whole family. Thus, fathers were encouraged to leave their families. You know, ultimately, in my mind, a very evil thing, but that was an attack on the home, you know?
Yeah.
And you
I agree. I think that was its whole purpose.
Yeah. You see the results, and the results is, from my understanding, that community had a very, very strong ideal of family before the war on poverty. It's, you know, it's very sad to see the result of that, and like you said, probably planned.
Yeah, I think you're totally on track, and that's even worse than, you know, individual wicked people trying to disrupt one person's home. That's wicked people with lots of power trying to disrupt everybody's home. You know, one of Karl Marx's primary tools in using to implement socialism was the disruption of the family. And, you know, destroy the family, separate parents from children, and then you can essentially brainwash the children into accepting your ideas in spite of the reality that they can see around them. And we certainly
The
see a lot
nanny
of that
state.
today.
Yeah, the nanny state. It's let the
Mhm.
state be the dictator of what's moral,
Yeah,
what's
and
just.
teachers claiming that they know more than parents what's good for children, and even going so far as to claim that the children are theirs, not the parents.
Right.
And that is just evil.